Morning, students. Good morning, all of you. I hope you all are well and following the COVID precautions. Don't go outside for playing or for anything else. Stay at home. Be safe, students. Okay, and I hope you all are preparing for your Unit 1 examination, which is started from 17th of May. I hope you all are preparing for that. So let's start. So in the previous video, I have started about the plastic. So today I will discuss. Now, when we talk about plastics, we are only talking about all the good things, which is heat resistance, poor conductor of electricity, lightweight. All the good things are got in plastic. That's why we use plastics. But actually, when you really look at it it harm our environment because plastics are non-biodegradable. You might ask, what is the meaning of non-biodegradable? So when you use any object, whether it is made up of anything, once you have used, what do? You just throw it in the dustbin. Let's say you have purchased a packet of chips. You ate the chips, and what do you do with the wrapper or the packet, which is made up of plastic? You just throw it into the dustbin. What happened to your dustbin? It then goes outside of your house to maybe the neighborhood dustbin. From there, it goes to some garbage area or out of town or city. So, but ultimately, what happened to that plastic? What we want is that plastic should get broken down and it should not remain as a waste in the environment. It should decompose, but it's not. So here, first of all, here we will talk about solid waste. So the solid waste are categorized into two types, biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So what do we mean by biodegradable and non-biodegradable? So bio means life and degrade means what? To break down. So all those waste material which can be degraded to simpler or harmfulest form, they are called a biodegradable waste. But that means in the environment itself, those objects or waste product which can be broken down into further simpler form, so which can be degraded or broken down to simpler harmless form, they can be called as biodegradable, because in the environment itself those object or waste product which have been broken down to further simpler form, and that's how they get mixed up with the environment. So they do not cause any harm to the environment. For example, in our kitchen waste, like vegetable waste, paper waste, all this happen. What happened to these waste? They also goes to some garbage area. Every city have some landfill or a garbage area where all the waste of that locality are being thrown. Now what happened to these kind of biodegradable waste? They are acted upon by a lot of microorganisms or bacteria or fungi, and they decompose them and break them into a simpler form, which in turn are used as a fertilizer by the plant. So they get degraded and broken down and they get mixed with the soil. So all the important nutrients go into the soil and then they actually act as a fertilizer. So that is how biodegradable waste are used as a manure or a fertilizer in the environment. They actually help us, okay, in increasing the fertility of the soil. So example of such waste, we are decomposed by microorganism like bacteria and fungi. So which organism help in decomposition? They are bacteria and fungi, and they are also often called decomposers. Example of such waste are paper waste, cow dung, excreta, agricultural waste, that would include all your vegetable waste, wood, etc. So all these are biodegradable. If you are throwing them after using, that also not problem, because it doesn't cause any harm to our environment. But on the other hand, we have another type of waste that is called non-biodegradable waste that cannot be broken down to any simplest or harmless form. That means the more we use plastic, the more of it is actually getting accumulated in our environment. Right. So what do we do with that accumulation? Because that cannot, nothing can happen to that plastic. So it is simply being added up, and at the same time, it even cause harm. For example, plastic cannot be digested by any living organism. So, but when you have a pile of plastic wrappers, it might happen that a lot of insects or a small boat, they eat it up, and then it get choked and they died. So plastics are something which are non biodegradable, which is not digestible. So what do we do with so much of plastic accumulating in our environment? So it is just actually adding to the pollution. So here, in case of plastics, the process of decomposition either not possible, or no decomposition, or even it, or sometime it decompose, but very slow, extremely slow. So more plastic we are using, more waste we are adding in our environment. So plastics are very common, and these are the example of non biodegradable waste: pesticide, DDT, industrial waste, metallic waste. These are all non biodegradable waste, but plastic is something which is usually used by all of us. A lot of plastic is used by us. Okay, so therefore we should always remember and judiciously use plastic, so that we do not unnecessarily use them and adversely affect our environment. Okay, so we just reduce, recycle and reuse. So in order to save our environment, the 3 R's are extremely useful. Reduce means reduce unnecessary usage of plastic. So wherever you think that it can be substituted with something else, for example, instead of using plastic cup for having tea, you can use a paper cups, or you can use a smaller cups which are available in the market. Okay, instead of using polythene bags, you can use paper bags. So wherever possible, tries to replace the plastic with something which is biodegradable. Recycle and use plastics in different forms. So one plastic which has been used in one form, try to use it in some other form. For example, let's say that you have plastics, a lot of polythene bags. Now you have already used them. Now instead of throwing it, what you can do is the same polythene bag can be used in some different way to create a bigger plastic which might be used for by somebody else. Or you can just stitch together all the small polythene bags to form a big plastic and use a cover to your vehicle. So you should actually try recycle the plastic in some other form. So you are not using more and more plastic, and you are not adding more and more plastics in your garbage. So waste segregation is must. Now if you want to recycle, it is very important that when you throw your waste, all the biodegradable waste should be thrown separately and the non-biodegradable waste should be thrown separately, so that all the non-biodegradable waste can be taken together and they can be recycled. So that same plastic bottle which you have thrown out of your house, maybe the same bottle can be used and they can be cleaned and recycled to form a new bottles, so that we do not create or manufacture more plastics. The third one is reuse. Use the same plastic again and again. Let's see, let's say you went to a vegetable shop and you bought some vegetable. They gave to you in a plastic bag, and you brought it home and try to use the same plastic bag a couple of times, as long as you can, so that you are not unnecessarily utilizing the plastic. So in the first place, try to avoid using plastic as much as possible, because the more we use plastic, even though plastics make our life very convenient, but the more we use the plastics, the more we are damaging our environment. So with this we have reached. So let us quickly revise some of the question. Question number 1, explain why some fiber are called synthetic. Now why are they called synthetic? Because they do not occur naturally in the environment and we manufacture them. Now since they are artificially prepared from things like coal, petroleum and air and water, so that is why they are called synthetic. So they do not exist naturally Example of synthetic fibers are nylon, polyester, rayon. Now question number 2 is mark the correct answer. So rayon is different from synthetic fiber because it has a silk-like appearance. But it has a silk-like appearance, but that doesn't mean that it is different from other fibers. Yes, it is also obtained from wood pulp. Its fiber can also be woven like those of natural fiber. Even artificial fiber, also their fibers can be woven to form a fabric. But in case of rayon, it is obtained from wood pulp, and wood pulp contains cellulose, which is a naturally occurring polymer. So that is how the rayon is different from other materials. So that is why it is also called semi-synthetic material. Give examples which indicate that nylon's fiber are very strong. Now, as I said, the most beautiful thing of the nylon is that they are extremely strong, and at the same time they are very flexible. That is why they are used in parachute. Even for rock climbing, you need strong rope, and they are also made up of nylon. For drying clothes, so actually nylon fibers are having these characteristics that they are very strong. Question number 5. Explain why plastic containers are favored for storing food. Now, one thing is that they are non-reactive. They do not react with things like oxygen, water. They are not reactive with all of these. Therefore, they are no rusting. There is no corrosion of these containers, and they are durable. They stay for a long time. So instead of plastic, if you start using metal container, they easily getting rusted, and you cannot use them for a long time. So whereas these plastic containers are quite cheap, they are not expensive as like other metals. They do not corrode. They also light in weight. So it is very convenient to use them as a storage container. So some of these, all these actually together make them very favored for storing food. Next question is explain why the following are made up of thermosetting plastics. Now, what are thermosetting plastics? Those which do not deform when heated. So, saucepan handles. Now, what do we do with saucepans? We cook food. So, we put them on fire. We put them on heat. If the handle also get heated up, we are not able to touch it. So, that is why handles are made up of thermosetting plastics, because they are poor conductors of heat. So, we do not feel hot when we touch them. At the same time, they do not bend on heating. So even if you heat them, they really do not deform. So it is very convenient to hold them while cooking. Electric plug switches, plug boards. Why are they used in association with the electric equipment? Because these plastic are again poor conductors of electricity. So they do not allow electric current to pass through them. So it is completely safe from electric shock. Next question is categorize the material into can be recycled and cannot be recycled. So here you will see the list of things. So can you tell me which one is recyclable, which one can be recycled and which cannot? So whatever can be recycled, we will mark it as yes, and whatever cannot be recycled, we mark it N. So plastic bowl, yes, it can be recycled. Telephonic instrument cannot be recycled. It is a no. Plastic toys, do you think it can be recycled? Yes, of course. You can use the same plastic for making a lot of other things. Even you can use the toy in different form. Cooker handles, can it be recycled? It cannot be recycled. The carry bags, yes, it can be recycled. Ballpoint pens, can it be recycled? Yes. Plastic bowl, yes, it can be recycled. Plastic covering on electrical wires. So you see all the plastic things can be recycled. Plastic chairs, but when you talk about the electrical switches, it cannot be recycled. So all the plastic things can actually be recycled. Question number 8. Rana wants to buy a shirt for summer. Should he buy a cotton shirt or shirt made from synthetic material? Advise Rana, giving your reason. Now for summers, it will be more heat. So you are you sweat more. So if you use a cotton shirt, cotton absorbs sweat. And also if you look at the cotton fabric, it has a lot of pores. So it actually allows to keep your body cool. So cotton would be more comfortable. Cotton absorbs sweat. It keeps the body cool. Therefore it is more comfortable. And it is also very comfortable to wear because it is soft and light. So cotton shirt will be more preferable during summer. Question number 9. Give example to show that plastics are non-corrosive in nature. Now since plastic are non-corrosive, they do not react with oxygen or air to form a new products like rusting and like that. So that is why it is actually using in making so many kitchenwares, so many utensils. Not only that, it is also used for outer covering of the electric wires, the electrical outlets. Now it is used in these things because it is non-corrosive, and every time it is exposed to air, it undergoes some sort of rusting and reacting with air and form a new substance. For all those things doesn't happen. That is why it is actually used in these things. Question number 10. Should the handle and bristles of toothbrush be made up of same material? Now whenever you look at the bristles of the toothbrush, what do you think the bristles should be like? So these bristles should be soft, they should be elastic, but because you are actually moving it inside your mouth, so it can reach even the cornermost region. It should be light, okay? But when you talk about the handle, do you want the same characteristic on the handle also? Not really. We want the handle to be quite strong. We also want the handle to be such that it is easy to hold, because this part need not to be flexible. This part is just for holding, so that is tough. So here, therefore, handle is often made up of hard plastic so that it can give some sort of toughness, some sort of strength. Whereas the bristles are often made up of the nylon fibers, because nylon are strong, but at the same time they are very flexible. So due to that flexibility, can actually comfortably move inside your mouth. Next question is match the column in one correctly with the phrases. So these are some of the things. Now polyester is the fabric which do not wrinkle easily. Teflon is used to make non-stick cookware. Why? Because it is heat resistant. So rayon is an artificial silk and it is prepared by using wood pulp. Nylon is so strong and it is used for making parachute and stockings. Now the next question is, manufacturing synthetic fiber is actually help in conservation of forest. How? Now when we manufacture synthetic fiber, we are actually not bothering with the forest as such. We are not cutting the plants. What we need in manufacturing the synthetic fiber, we need petrochemicals which form deep under the earth. So that is, if we want to make synthetic fiber, no harm occur to the forest, and that is how forests are being conserved. So synthetic fiber are manufactured artificially and manufactured from coal, petroleum, etc. So we are not really dependent on forest, and therefore no harm is being caused to the forest. So with this, we have reached towards the end of this lesson, and I hope this lesson of synthetic fiber and plastic would have helped you. So try to gain some information on why you should not use plastic unnecessarily, and we should try to save our environment. So with this, I would conclude this lesson and see you all. I hope you all are preparing for your exam. Thank you, students.